Rediscovering Gita for the Modern World by Shrikant Soman, based on Essays on Gita by Sri Aurobindo. Second series, Part 1, The Synthesis of Works, Love and Knowledge. Chapter 1 of second series, The Two Natures. Continued from the previous episode 97, The Spiritual Essence of Strength and Desire. Current episode 98, Beyond Virtue and Sin, the Gita's view of Dharma, divine desire, Maya, and the path to the Godhead. The divine as the source of illusion and its transcendence. This passage explores how the Bhagavad Gita redefines Dharma and desire, explaining that true spiritual desire is not a moral virtue, but the purposeful will of the divine within us. It also introduces Maya, not as a non-existent illusion, but as a divine power that veils our perception, and explains that only by turning to the divine can we overcome this veil. Key takeaways. Spiritual desire is not a virtuous or moral desire. It is the divine's own conscious will and purposeful force, svabhava, within us, seeking the delight of its own play, not the pleasure of the lower nature. Dharma is the essential law of one's spiritual nature. It is not just about ethics or morality. It is an action that aligns with the pure quality of the spirit and the conscious will of the divine within. The lower nature is a divine Maya that veils our perception. This illusion is not non-existent. It is a power that confuses our knowledge, makes us believe the soul is in the body, and hides the infinite spirit we truly are. The divine is not contained within the lower nature. The lower nature, with its forms and beings, is a phenomenon within the divine, not the other way around. We must turn to the Supreme Godhead to overcome Maya. The passage concludes that because this illusion is divine, it cannot be overcome by human effort alone. It requires turning to the Supreme Divine who created it. Divine desire and Dharma. Is spiritual desire a virtuous, ethical or sattvic desire? No, this would be a contradiction. The very next line says that all sattvic affections are lower derivations, not the divine itself. Sin must be abandoned to approach the Godhead. But virtue must also be surpassed to enter into the divine being. The sattvic nature is a means of purification. It helps us rise towards the divine nature. But the divine nature is beyond all dualities. Dharma is not just morality or ethics. It is action governed by one's svabhava. Svabhava is the essential law of one's nature. At its core, this law is the pure quality of the spirit. It is the conscious will and active force of the spirit. The desire meant here is the divine's purposeful will within us. It seeks and finds the ananda, delight, of its own play. It is not seeking the pleasure of the lower prakriti. It is the desire of the divine delight of existence. It unfolds its own conscious force according to the law of the svabhava. The divine and Maya. What does it mean that the divine is not in the lower beings and forms? In one sense, he must be in them for them to exist. But what is meant is that the true spiritual nature of the divine is not trapped in them. They are only phenomena in his being. They are created by the ego and ignorance. Ignorance gives us a false and inverted vision. We think the soul is in the body. We feel as if the body created the soul, but it is the body that is in the soul. The body is a result of the soul. We think the spirit is a small part of us. In reality, the physical and mental world is a very small part of the infinite being of the spirit. Similarly, these things are in the divine. The divine is not contained within them. This lower nature of the three gunas is a Maya. It is a power of illusion. This doesn't mean it's all non-existent. It means it confuses our knowledge. It creates false values. It wraps us in ego, mind, senses and body. It hides the supreme truth of our existence. This Maya hides the divine that we truly are. It hides the infinite and imperishable spirit. By these three kinds of becoming, this whole world is bewildered and does not recognize me. If we could see that the divine is the real truth of our existence, everything would change. Our life would acquire divine values. Our actions would follow the law of divine nature. Overcoming Maya. So why is this Maya so hard to overcome? It is because it is the divine's Maya. It is itself divine. It is a development from the nature of the divine. But it is the divine in the nature of the gods. It is of the Godhead in its divided lower aspects, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. It is a cosmic veil. The Godhead has spun it around our understanding. We must work through this web. We must turn from the gods to the original and supreme Godhead. In doing so, we will understand the true meaning of the gods and their works. We will also discover the spiritual truths of our own being. Only those who turn to me and come to me, they alone cross over beyond this Maya.